Hello, what is up YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of SunHaven. Not sure what number it is. I'm sure it says it in the title. Straight into the mine. Obviously I'm not going to bore you with the mines over and over again. There's a lot of mining going to happen. I have been a bit obsessed with this game over the coming week for some reason, not sure why. So I have got a lot of video to present for this. Though I am trying to concentrate on the videos that are watched the most, which currently is Farming Simulator. But anyway, let's blast through this. I'm actually just going through with the proper keys here to unlock the floors. This is not necessarily a mining session, more than it's a session to unlock the doors permanently so that I can just get to level 50 as soon as possible. So coming out of there at this point, running out of iron keys, I've got to do it the normal way. There was a little bit of chatter you saw at the bottom through that very fast time lapse of going through the floors, where obviously if I go onto a floor and there is resources like right at the front, like you can see there is actually an iron one right above me, really close, I am not going to ignore them. I'm not going to ignore the ones that are in the view of the screen when I first load in to the mine floor. It would be a waste because they're so close, but I'm not going to scour the floor to chase them down. So making it to the end again, just looking at the resources we need to move this guy out of the way. We are a little bit short, so I'll have to come back for that, just level up some of my stats as well. But I need to just make sure that I have the resources. Obviously the first floor you just require a key. I think the second one is this, where you need to provide resources, and pretty much after here up to level 50 you need to provide resources to get him to move. But there was enough there to make him move, so that unlocks us to level 21. 21 through to 30 are the floors now where you expect to see a lot of adamant, I believe it's pronounced. So the third resource, copper first, iron second, adamant third, mithril is fourth, and sunite is fifth. So you will see this is predominantly now going to be mostly mithril, I would expect, or I hope. Sorry, not mithril. Yeah, I already said it. Adamant, you can see it there. There's a little bit of iron as well. And then as we get into the last sort of 3 or 4 floors of this area, you might see some mithril as well. So moving on from there and straight over to deliver the collectibles we have gathered so far. So only one for the first room, the minerals room. Large amount there of crops, collectibles and stuff for the second room, and for the third room, which is the aquariums, a few fish there as well. So continuing to do the collecting, the mod that added the flag to show you if you need it and how many you need, etc., is absolutely fantastic. I now have a chest specifically designed for anything, so as I get things, if it says I need one, I put one in there and sell the rest, or if I need 3 or 4 or whatever it is, it tells you, and I just put them in there, in that chest, and then when the chest is full, I come over here and dump it. So very good, best thing I ever did, and it is certainly one of my favourite mods, just for ease, because collectibles both with this and with Stardew Valley, although it's part of the game and a good part of the game, it gets a bit boring or monotonous once you've done it once or twice, and I just never remember, right? And I'm certainly not going to be writing a list, that's too much hassle. Okay, so back to the farm, and we actually have like 300, yeah, there you are, 380 wheat seeds. I don't know why I bought so many. I'm certainly not going to plant them all, but we're going to plant as many as we can. So let's get these down, and it'll make some profit from them anyway. With that done, I'll do a little bit of fishing. But what I'm actually going to do next is just do a bit of cleanup. So I'll run through that as well. The larger, that looks like a legendary, isn't it? I'm not sure. I got it anyway. No, it's only a tadpole. I'm not sure why that was so small then. Oh, because of the runestone, likely. Okay, never mind. So yeah, we'll just do a bit of cleaning up, and from there it will give us a bit of better. Over the time, I like to clear out the farm and keep it as clear as possible, but it does regrow. The rocks do respawn, so it's always a good idea to keep on top of it if you can. But the heavy stone, I think it's called, and the hardwood is a lot harder to get rid of because it not respawns, it rejuvenates its health. So you have to have decent pickaxe and that, and we're still at the adamant level, so it's a little bit lower than we need, but you can get there. You just rely on crits. So with that done, that's the rocks out of the way. Obviously, we've only got a copper axe, so I can't really do the hardwood yet. So yeah, you also saw that I cleared out the beaches as well, just to get them resources, and the easy mobs in between, just to get a bit of sand. One thing I have noticed, by the way, was, though it will come later, I might as well say it now, the beehives where I've done 6 flowers per, that's wrong, they need 12. It's 12 flowers within 6 blocks, and I've done it the other way round. So they, although the flowers will finish, they won't work until you have the 12 flowers around. And I'm saying 12. I think it's 8. Anyway, it's more than what I've put down. So you need to surround it. So around the whole entire beehive, one type of flower, and then around the other type of beehive, the other type of flower, and that should work. Well, I know it does actually, because it will later on, but I'm mentioning it now too, just in case you're following along. And with the fields, or the plots, all watered, it's still on 1 auto water unfortunately, but they are very expensive. 5 gold. It's quite hard to do actually, until you get to sort of levels 30 plus, sort of 40 plus definitely, where you start actually seeing a gold or 2 per floor. It's very expensive to make the first level of sprinklers. The next one's up, use Sunite, which is way off, but they do 2 from it, so you would put a sprinkler down and it would water 25 including the sprinkler plots. Right, more cleaning. Enjoy. So that's that done, and if you noticed, I did the pathing as well. As you can see, the top right of that area where you saw me coming from the other side of the map is going to be the farm when I can. But I've run out of stone and or paving slabs, so I'll have to get back to that when I can and make it look better. A lot of farm cleaning later. We are back, and I just wanted to make you aware of this other fountain as well. So the fountain I showed you previous episodes where you went down that long path and you got 5 permanent mana each time you wished it, but it was reset every so many days. It's also the same for this one here, this little dragon altar. So if you come to it, it doesn't matter which side you do it from, you can see there I've gained 4 permanent mana. Again, that resets, and you can do that every 3 days or so. I'm sorry I haven't done the exact numbers, but it's certainly 3 days or ish. The other one is more like 5 days. So you pass this one a lot, so it's always a good idea. What I do actually, I don't keep count, which is why I don't know the exact number. I just do it every time I pass it, and then every now and again, which it looks like it's 3 days, you get 4 mana permanently. And mana is important, right? Because the way to water in this game, moving on, is like the rain cloud, and it uses 50 per. So you want to be stacking up mana as much as possible to help you doing the farming, is what I would say. Moving on to the quest now, working with Lucia, and Nathaniel was here earlier too. We're actually trying to trap the dragon, the little dragon that is over at the mine. To do that, you need dragon bait, so we're looking at getting some dragon bait to do that. If you guys would rather these be read out, please do let me know, but I'm going to try and skip them just to keep up with the storyline, and I'll just let you know what is basically happening in short context instead of reading it word for word, because there is a lot of writing in this game, similar to all of these type of indie games, right? So I can just afford the barn permit for 2,000 gold, and I have 2,500 gold, almost. And I cleared the area for it that I mentioned. Obviously, I've cleared it better than when I did in the time-lapse, because there was just too many time-lapses of cleaning up right. But I've got that. So that means I can now buy a barn, or build a barn. Of course, the permit allows me to build it. I now have to mine or craft, build, whatever, the resources that are required. Similar to these two shops, right? These two shops you can unlock, the hairdressers and the art shop, can't remember, but you need wood planks and gold for that too. I will get to that. But at the minute, the priority is my own farm and building up buildings that are actually useful to me. The barn allows you to have animals to give you resources, like cows with the milk, the chickens with the eggs, the sheep with the wool or fabric, as it is, I think, and the pigs, truffles. And then you can get other animals as well from various different lands that give you other resources that you can collect. And all you have to do is provide them with food and love and care. But the love and care only increases the amount. As long as you feed them, you basically get everything you need. Just building a loom here because I'm going to need some fabric. So that all of the fabric or wools I've got from the trees where the spider webs are, that will turn it into an actual fabric, right? Which it says there as a quest to bring 2 fabric. I'm back to chopping trees, but you don't need to see this, so I can move on. That's all that watered again. A lot of watering going on, but I have to do it. I think it's only one more day and I should be able to harvest it all, so that would be nice to get the money in, both the XP as well, and a few other bits and bobs. Watering does get better, does get easier, and it certainly gets more fun as you play along. But you need to keep up on it, right? I think putting all of my money into the seeds, the wheat seeds, which you can grow like all year round, I think. I'm not sure about winter, but certainly for the majority of the gameplay, it's just easy money. You're basically gaining 50% of whatever you put in each time you do it. So after doing a decent amount of fishing, I came over to Peter at the new dock here, and it cuts into a cutscene where I'm going to describe it as like a pirate. It's not a pirate ship, but it's a ship for some fancy captain. This is new. There's quite a lot of new things since I last played this, which is nice, including weather, which is good. I mean, it did rain, but you didn't have wind effects and stuff. But yeah, this guy called Shang is the owner of this ship, Lord Shang. And he's come to visit. We don't know why. I don't know why. It's not actually, in terms of the gameplay, I've not got there yet. But it's new. It's interesting, and it might give us some new items as well. So I'm looking forward to figuring out what this actually means for us in the future. So here we go. This should be the day. And there you are. And it's a raining day as well, which means we don't have to water anything, even though we don't need to, apart from the flowers. So we can get all this harvested, which will give us a nice amount of experience. As you can see in the bottom right there, we're at 500 XP already. But also, it will give us some tokens, which looks like... there were just the... I get the free blue flowers. I planted them just because I got bored. But moving on, all I actually do is sell the seeds directly, because it's like 200 gold or something, just for free, every so often. So leveling up there, 2 levels in the farming from all of that crop. 95 tokens and what looks like 172 wheat. So that's going to be profit at the very best. Obviously, you can turn it into animal food for free, doing it yourself, but I don't have the animals as we speak yet. You can see there on the pink writing tells you if you need it for collectibles or not. And looking at that, it's going to pull us in about 11,000 gold for the crops there, which is a very nice amount of money to have in the bank, certainly at this earlier stage of the game. We've got a blue permit, and that permit allows us to build, hopefully, the barn. So to do that, you need a construction table, and you can see there, where is it, the barn, so you need that, some stone, 50 stone and 20 planks. So I've got that built in, and we'll get that in. There we go, roughly in the middle. I'm not going to do the math on it, that looks about close enough to the middle to me. And then all I need to do is get a fence around that, because you can have animals on the inside of it. We'll go in now and have a look, and then you can see down either side, look, there are 5 on each side troughs for feeding. But you can also put troughs outside and have them outside, which is what I'll actually do, because it's easier for me than having to go into the loading screen. But at least we've got the barn now, so that's a step forward. We just need to afford animals, which they aren't cheap. The chickens are over 1,000 each. The cows and sheep and that are like 4,000 each. So we need to save up a bit of money first, but at least we have the building done, and we just need to do the fences. So I did actually manage to upgrade my axe to the 3rd level, and doing that I obviously got rid of all these trees that were around here, the hardwood trees, so we'll now blitz out and just square off this area for farming. I can't imagine I'll use much more than this for a very long time. This is going to be a lot. It's probably in the region of around the 300 mark, give or take, maybe less, maybe 200, but certainly enough for the crops that I can buy, because you've got to remember I'm restricted by the actual cost as well, because they are as expensive as they are difficult to grow. Right, so it is indeed Tuesday, and I finally remembered for the first time since I've been playing this that there is this new arena thing at the top here, so I'm going to go and give this a go. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, I already know. So I'm here to fight, and then you can pick your level, easy, medium, hard, or champion. I'm not sure why. I've never done this before, but I went for medium. Spoiler alert, that was a mistake. This is a lot harder than you expect, and unless I'm really crap at this game or doing something significantly wrong, you can see the damage I am doing. That obviously the bow is very, very crap anyway. But the sword, although it's only an iron sword, also the same. The mobs, as you can see, the ads just not taking that much damage either. This is clearly for a later stage, I think. Again, unless I'm doing something wrong. I've got iron armor on. I've got iron sword. But the damage that's just coming down is ridiculous and a little embarrassing. I don't know why I decided to try and heal that, because even the hitbox on them was too large. You saw I went through there. I mean, that one did hit, but then it killed me. For the record, you can, of course, do it once. So if you defeat them or don't defeat them, you can try again, but if you defeat the boss, you can't then go to the next boss. You have to wait for the next day. So it's every Tuesday and Saturday that you can fight one of these bosses, but you definitely need to be quite kitted up, a lot more so than the actual dungeons that you can do that's later on as well. But the dungeon floors, if you've done that before, if not, you have to fight the Slime King boss. It's behind there. He's not easy, but a lot easier than this. And the dungeon is also easier than this. So this is like a next stage. Even though it's closer and easier to get to, it's definitely not easier to do. So I guess with that embarrassment out of the way, into the mine. And with level 30 being complete, we get the 3rd reward of the dungeons. 10 minutes before I'm due to pass out. 1,500 gold, a large net, some earth crystal, rubies, and glorite ore. So we can make our way out of the dungeon now, or the dungeons, but obviously we'll likely collapse. Remember, collapsing is just negative 300 gold, and you respawn at the hospital. Though that did say 798 gold there, so it looks like it's a percentage. I've only just learnt that by doing this though, because very often I don't sit on much gold. I put it into other things. And then you respawn at the hospital, right? You still got full health, still got full mana, so just apart from the gold amount, it's not that big of a deal. And obviously if you're in the mine like I am, it's not worth it because you don't lose any of the resources you've mined, so I call it worth. So back at the farm we can get that large net down that we got from that reward, and that's our first large net of the game. Also collect a few resources as well. But on that note, I'm going to end the episode here. It is around the 20-minute mark. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome. Subscribe for more. Take care. Goodbye.